if you can live in those two, if you can swim in those every day, everything completely changes because you see everything differently.
You do. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Welcome to episode number 8 of the Jeff and Steph Show, where our mission is to help people get healthy once and for all in all areas of their lives.
Yes. And how was everyone's Thanksgiving?
Yeah. It's hard to believe that Thanksgiving's here and gone already, and less than a month till Christmas.
Yeah. Well, we were out for a walk last night, and there's a street a couple blocks away where they got a permit where they're able to put Christmas lights all the way down. We were out walking doing that, and we were realizing that's what we're going to be doing today, is hanging our stuff out, getting a Christmas tree. Cannot believe it's been a year since we've done it. It seems like
this year
3-4 months ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
So today we are going to be talking about a topic that is near and dear to really what Thanksgiving is all about, and we'll get into that shortly, but just wanted to welcome you all here joining us on Saturday morning after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We hope that your Thanksgiving holiday was filled with lots of laughter and fun and gratitude and just appreciation for your life and everyone in it.
Mm-hmm. Ours was.
Yeah, it was.
We had fun.
Yeah.
The weather was perfect here. We ate dinner outside.
Yes.
Which does not happen. I mean, we're usually not used to that. We grew up in the Midwest, up in North Dakota, and you didn't eat Thanksgiving dinner outside too often.
No, in fact, normally we stored our leftovers either right outside the patio door or in the garage because it was already cold enough to be able to put the leftovers out there, and you didn't have to have space in all of your refrigerators for that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, we do that when we go back for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, your mom has it out in the garage all the way.
So this was a fun week because our youngest Zachary got to come home on Wednesday from college. We haven't seen him since he moved up to NAU up in Flagstaff in August, so that was a really great thing to have him home. And
he's gone already.
Yeah.
He went back up.
Just for a couple of days.
I know.
He'll be back all through December and beginning of January, so that'll be a great thing.
Yeah, he came back to wondering who he was going to miss the most. You, me, Alex, or whatever, and he missed your food.
The food, that's right.
Yeah. Well, especially with Thanksgiving, too.
Yeah. So, what else do we have going on this week?
Well, it's so funny because we got Thanksgiving and a lot of people have Fridays off too, so they have a 3-day week. So you start off the week with great excitement because you have a 3-day week. Everybody's excited about the 3-day week, but there's a lot of work involved. I know that you had a lot of work that you needed to get done in 3 days.
Yeah.
And so it was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. And one of our favorite things that we always do, so we have a group of friends that we have known for years that we met at our Unity Church in Chandler, Unity of Divine. Anyway, we get together with them every Thanksgiving and we go downtown and hand out hot soup and socks and snacks and food to the homeless, and just have an opportunity to visit with them sometimes, and just really do a little bit of our part. And I know we were talking about it, we do that throughout the year at different times as well. We'll go down there, but one of the things that's special about it is our kids went through the Uniteens program together as they were growing up, and they have all of our friends have kids about the same age, so it's just this time where we get together. And now that they're all older and they're off doing their thing or they're in college, it's just kind of that fun time to regroup. And
I want to touch on touch a little bit about this. We go down and help feed the homeless. We give them hot soup, give them some socks, some wet wipes. We've asked them before what they really want, and so what we try to do is we try to bring that stuff. It's really interesting, really interesting. The mindset of homeless people. And again and again and again, we'll hear it more and more. We had somebody walk up and say that he had his backpack stolen and was wondering if we had any backpacks. And we said, no, we don't have any backpacks, but we have a couple extra blankets And he goes, no, I'm fine. I got plenty of blankets.
Mm-hmm.
And we asked him if he wanted some food. And he goes, no, I'm fine for food. We asked him if he wanted some socks. He said, no, I'm fine for socks. A lot of them will only take what they need. If
yeah.
they need a sock, when it happened in Houston too, we did some Houston. We used to drop off food for a gentleman in Houston, and every once in a while, because he was in a wheelchair, always had the same spot. It was close to our house. We go in, and I bought him a blanket one time because it was raining out. And he goes, "No, I got plenty of blankets. Take it back." So it's really interesting. They'll only take what they need,
Right.
and you would think they would want to maybe hoard it in case something gets stolen or whatever it is, but no, they're very good about that stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely, it's always very humbling, and it's always very much a lesson, and it really kind of bleeds right into the topic that we want to talk about today, which is really just gratitude and appreciation. But they are extremely grateful for everything that they have and everything.
And those
that
are the
they're
two
given.
words. Thanksgiving goes right into gratitude and appreciation. That's where all it goes, and that's what I love. My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because it's not commercialized. It's it's just something where family comes together, and we all have a good time together.
Definitely.
So let's go for it.
All right.
Talking about it. Go ahead.
Well, let's see. Just really quickly before we do that, because once we get
Okay.
started talking, we don't I can't see. Oh, we do
Asima.
have a few people here. So
Asima.
we've got Ben's joined us. Asima, hello, Asima.
Everybody from the
Well,
other
people
side
from
of the world.
other side of the pond.
Hi guys.
Great to see you guys. Good morning, and give us some hearts and likes, and we'd love for you to share this out to your page. The more people we can reach, the better. We really want to get our message out there, and really just get our message out to the world, and really help people help people to live a life where they're healthy once and for all in all aspects of their life. So.
Well, and Thanksgiving gives gratitude and appreciation. If you can live in those two, if you can swim in those every day, everything completely changes because you see everything differently.
You do.
Okay.
And so it's one of those, so gratitude is an emotion. It's a feeling. It's this place to live that if you are truly in gratitude, fear and stress and anxiety cannot exist at the same time.
Yeah.
It's actually been scientifically proven, and I know we don't have the stuff to back that up, but we've actually done quite a bit of research on that, and there's scientific proof out there that has looked at those emotions, and they just simply can't exist in the brain, in the heart at the same time.
Yeah. And what is gratitude?
Gratitude is really just truly expressing thanks and appreciation for the moment. To me, one of the best things about gratitude is that it brings you into the present moment, because you're focused on all of the amazing blessings that you have. And maybe we can talk about when we first started this as a family many years ago. We started a daily practice, and we've continued it. So every time we gather for a meal, we say a prayer, and then we take some time to go around our dinner table, whoever is there, whether it's just our family or we have people visiting or joining us. But we each say one thing that we're grateful for.
And it all started by us starting to work on ourselves. 13 years ago, we went to a personal growth seminar for Tony Robbins, and it was one of the things he really believes is in gratitude. And we heard stories, and Steph's become really good friends with a couple people that met him way back, where the first time they went to his home to do a basket brigade, they all had to stand up and say one thing they were grateful for that day or for that year or for whatever it was. And with doing that made us start to think, we're like, hey, this is our lives.
Yep.
We can create whatever we want. So what we did is, you can eat breakfast and dinner a lot of times, and there's not a lot, everybody just kind of does their own thing. But dinner time, we always made it as like a family thing. And so what we did is we started this tradition where everyone that was at dinner with us, we would just hold hands, say a little prayer about the food, thanks for the food and appreciation for everything. And then everybody would just say one thing they were grateful for. And it's unbelievable what happens and what happened when we started, because when we started this, Alex was a teenager. Zach was not even close to being a teenager yet. And we'd go through the whole day and they couldn't remember something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, they really struggled to find just one thing that they were grateful for
Yeah.
at first. And we're like, okay, well, can you walk? Can you use your hands to eat the food? Can you see? I mean, it's like breaking it down to the most basic things. I mean, just being grateful that, hey, I was able to get up this morning. I mean, we just actually found out, we were laying in bed this morning getting ready to get up and saw that somebody that we know from the Tony Robbins community unexpectedly passed away. So it's like, was I able to get out of bed this morning? You know, was I given that gift of another day? I mean, that's as simple as it can be, to be grateful that the sun is shining. There's flowers blooming outside. It doesn't even have, you know, you can be in the crappiest of moods, or, you know, going through, you know, a lot of shit in your life. And if you can say, oh my gosh, I can look outside and I see the beautiful blue sky. That's something to be grateful for that can completely change your attitude and change your mental state.
Yeah, you can be grateful. And I see that Mrs. White is on here too. You can be grateful for, I don't know, the 14 bottles of red wine that you have in your cellar. You know, you never know what it might be anyway.
So Ben reminded us of the quote from Tony Robbins, which is a huge one, which is, when you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. So thanks, Ben, for that. Appreciate that.
So anyway, just to finish this up about what we do at our table when we have dinner. The kids could never think of anything. So we help them, you know, and as of today, when we do it, we did it on Thanksgiving. We had 7 or 8 people here total, and what comes out of their mouths now is very beautiful.
It is.
Because they really think hard, and it just naturally comes to them. One of the stories that I do want to tell is, when we started to do this was a brand new practice, and so when my parents would come over, they both passed away in 2012, but my dad, he would always say ditto. Whoever was beside him, he would just say ditto, ditto, ditto. And he just didn't really want to think about it. And then he started to, you know, really enjoy. He looked forward. He would look forward to just doing the gratitude thing, because he would think of something and he would have a really great one to say. And the last time that we ever did gratitude with him, he wasn't able to sit around or stand around the table. He was sitting in a recliner at our house. It was Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving Day, and he wanted everyone to come around and do the gratitude with him. And I was holding his hand. We're all standing around. He was sitting. And he was the last person to do gratitude. And when he said it, he says, "I'm just grateful to be alive." And I remember there was not a dry eye in the right now too, in the circle, because you could kind of feel that might have been the last time that might ever happen.
And it was.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah, and then 4 days, 4 days, he passed away.
Yeah, I think 5 days later he passed away.
away. So it's very, very powerful on what gratitude can do and where people can go with it.
And what was so fun about your dad is that at first, because he was very much like, he couldn't think of something, and so he would say ditto. But then he got into the practice of his own, and he really enjoyed that. And there was one time we had all gotten together and everybody had gotten their dinner and they were sitting down and somebody was starting to eat, and he's like, whoa, wait, we have to do the gratitude circle. And it's like, for your dad to do that was... Yeah,
he looked forward to it.
He did. So anyway, that's
just one practice.
It's a really easy daily practice that you can implement into your life, and it really is amazing. And especially when you get your young kids started with that practice, and just getting them and everybody to see something in their life that they truly can be grateful for. It's really an amazing thing.
And I think that if you do it just daily, around dinner time, what's really interesting, the real interesting thing is when you bring gratitude or appreciation into your mind, you take away all the things that you take for granted.
Yes.
Taking for granted is one of the greatest challenges we have in our, because we're so busy, we got so much stuff going on, we take stuff for granted. That's where most separations and divorces happen.
Yep.
If you don't appreciate and aren't grateful for the person and let them know it, it's just, you just start to grow apart because of the taking for granted.
Well, and just to get back to, like, to really look at your life and being grateful for something, I know that you get caught up at times in your life with the stress of something. And I know there have been moments where I've been a little stressed out with my work. I've got a big project. There's a lot to do, a lot going on.
Yes.
And so I'll be a little crabby and stressed out, and you'll walk into the room and you can feel it, and you'll make me stand up and just truly say one thing that I'm grateful for related to that. And it's like, even in the moment of being, maybe you're pissed off at your coworkers or your boss, or you're having a bad day with your business, whatever it is, even in that moment, to find something that you are truly grateful for about that situation. So you would be like, all right, time for you to be grateful. And it's like, okay, I'm grateful that I have this amazing job that is part of what helps support our family. And I'm grateful that I have the flexibility to work from home and to be able to be involved in all of the kids' things. So it's like, you just are able to go into a completely different space, and then you can get back to what you were doing, and you really have changed your attitude. You've changed the way you go about actually performing and doing your work, and then actually showing up for your family and not being quite so bitchy.
Yeah. So what's the next one we got out here?
So gratitude journal, that's
Yeah.
another really easy thing to do. I know I have actually a really tiny little one that I have things written in that I'll accumulate. And that's another one of those, sometimes when you don't know what to be grateful for, you can just go back into this journal, right? So if you're writing it down, they can be profound things, they can be little things. If you write that gratitude down in a journal, on a daily basis, or when you think about it, you can always go back, and in those moments where you're having a hard time finding something to be grateful for, then you've got that to look back on.
Yeah. And I do journaling, and it's something new for me. I've been doing journaling for maybe 8 months now, something like that. Up till then, one of the greatest things that I would do is I had a 15-20 minute drive to the gym when I was going to the gym. And I had a ritual where I'd get in the car on the way home, and I would play a couple of songs, crank it up. I would sing along with it, because the louder the music, the less I can hear myself, and that's a really good thing. But then it would get me in a mood. And the two songs that I would sing to were "The Circle of Life" by Elton John, and then "Forever Young" by Rod Stewart. Those two just really touch my heart, because Alex was born about that time, and those two have everything to do with tradition and lifestyle and family and heritage and all that stuff. But anyway, I would get into that, and as soon as I was done, I had those high emotions, I would go right into gratitude and just be grateful, and that whatever came into my mind, I would just share.
And we call it a rant, because I would do this too. And I mean, I know that we both did this separately. Like, this is not something you do when somebody else is around. Like, this is one of those, okay, this is all me types of things. And it's like, you just really go on a rant. Like, anything that comes into your head, your heart, you say it out loud, you scream it out loud, you sing it, however you want to do that. But like, when you're in the safety of your car with the music blaring, nobody around you knows what you're doing or can hear you.
Yeah.
And
it's a really good thing, because it would raise my vibration, or whatever you want to call it, my mood. And so then I was ready to walk. I walked into the house with just more energy, ready to go, those types of things.
Yeah.
The other one I want to talk about, and this started maybe 6-7 years ago, and it just organically happened. We went out for a birthday. I think it was Alex had a birthday. We all went out for dinner. While we were having dinner, we were having a conversation to get started, and I don't know if it was you or me, it doesn't matter. We just decided we're going to go around the table and say something we all appreciated or we're grateful about that person being alive and being part of this family. And it would go around until it would just fizzle out, or we would, but one would lead to the next, and and stories would start to show up. If you ever want to give this a chance, when you're around family, and if it's a birthday party and you're honoring somebody's birthday, go around and just tell that person in face to face how much you appreciate of them and how much you love them and how much you just are so grateful they're in your lives, and tell them a story of why they're grateful, why you're grateful for them. Like, as an example, like for Alex is, how he's so focused on the direction he wants to go. He doesn't give a shit what anybody else thinks about him. He's just going to do what he's going to do.
He's such a great example and an inspiration to the rest of us. And, when you can express that gratitude and appreciation to somebody, then they can start to feel that and see that in themselves. I mean, I think it's one of the most amazing gifts that we've really started, because I think everybody, we tease about it a little bit, and sometimes we'll make fun, with that practice, but deep down, everybody in the family really looks forward to that. It's like, hey, it's my day. I get to hear from my family.
Well, how many times do you, like, we'll talk about children for a second, but how many times do you have kids, you're so proud of them, and you tell everybody else how proud you are of them? How many times do you tell them?
Right.
Literally sit down and with a group and tell them how proud you are. Send them a text message, that's cool. But when you're sitting around having dinner, getting ready for the meal to come, and just take 5 minutes and have that conversation with and about that person, it's unbelievable what'll come out and what'll come through, and it just tightens the family up.
It does. Well, and to see too, like the siblings, like, when we first started this, like to see the brothers who, had their moments, definitely.
And what they see.
But to really, to get to see what somebody else sees in you, or what somebody else sees in that person is really a beautiful gift. So really encourage you. And even in these times where, we're doing a lot of virtual things, like you can absolutely do that on a Zoom call or on FaceTime. Like this is, have the camera on, definitely have it be video, but it's something that you can share with each other, even if you're not physically in person.
Yeah, I really enjoy that one. That one just organically happened. We just made that up, and I think it'll be a tradition for a long time.
Very much so.
Yeah. I have a question mark on this one, and I'm going to share this. This is something that's really deep, and I haven't told this story for a long time. March 12th of 2012, my mom just fell over and passed away. And it was a shock to the whole family, to my dad, to every single person. It was one of the first times we had a death in the family that was that close in a long time. Everybody was walking around, was very numb, very in shock, a lot of stuff going on.
We thought your mom was going to be with us until she was 100, because she just had that personality. And
I always tell people she was 81 going on 21. But with this happening, and all these, taking care of Dad, helping him out, doing all the arrangements, all that stuff. And then when we got back to life, we were back at home, and all of a sudden, it was a Saturday night, and I wasn't even thinking of anything of where we were at in my life, and I had just had a birthday, and all of a sudden, I realized that the next day was Mother's Day, and I'm like, oh fuck, man! I said, I don't have a mom anymore. I don't have to go get a gift. I don't have to call her, because she's very significant, and if I didn't give her a call by like 9 o'clock in the morning, she's calling me to remind me that it was Mother's Day to give her a call. So anyway, that's the kind of relationship we had. And it wasn't very hard for me to get very emotional at those times. And I remember I was around the kids and Steph, and I didn't want to like just break out in tears. So I went outside, and it was probably 9-10 o'clock at night, and I walked outside, and I'm just like, what am I gonna do? My mom's gone. It's Mother's Day. This has never happened to me before. And I sat there, and I was feeling so sorry for myself, of like, my mom's gone, I don't know what to do. And then I just kind of looked up at the stars and I'm like, oh, wow. And something hit me. And I had when you have this moment in your life and all of a sudden it completely changes your direction. And that's exactly what happened with me. This moment happened as I was looking into the stars. It was like, oh my gosh. And I got a smile on my face. And what I'm going to share with you next is completely changed everything about my mom being gone. Everything completely changed. I remember my mom and dad telling a story years ago, and they didn't get into too much detail, but my mom was, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 months pregnant in Fargo, North Dakota. She slipped on some ice and fell down some stairs, and she was pregnant at the time. My dad took her in, and my mom's life was saved, but they lost the baby. And my mom and dad didn't get into too much detail, didn't tell us very much about that, but here's what they did. They just said, you would have had an older brother or sister that would have been 8 years older than myself. Mm-hmm. And in that moment of looking up in the stars, I realized I can't be so selfish. I should be so happy. My mom got to spend her first Mother's Day with this child they lost. And I'm like, yes. And that made me feel so good. And from that moment on, I realized that Mom gets to spend her Mother's Day with him or her. Mm-hmm. And it was, and all of a sudden it was fine with me.
Right. And I remember you coming in from being outside that night and just like, you really had, like you had gone outside and could tell you were just sad and, and just weren't kind of yourself. And when you came back in, like you had this sparkle in your eye. It's like finding that thing to be grateful for, mm-hmm. where it wasn't about you, like it was something completely outside of you, and like having so much gratitude that your mom and your sibling now got to experience that on the other side together for the mm-hmm. very first time. Yeah. Like that was really powerful.
Yeah. And I didn't know it at the time. I just knew I changed. I just knew that for all the 2 months prior to that, the tears, the feeling sorry for myself, never getting a chance mm-hmm. to say goodbye, all these different things, I was just like, you know what? Everything's perfect. Mm-hmm. And she's in a better place, but now she gets to spend it with this child she never got to meet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then I smile.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've said that ever since, and it's been 8 years now.
Yep.
It's been crazy how that's all, how fast that's changed. And I still talk to them today. They're still here.
Well, and I think, like, to me, that's really the power of gratitude, is like it brings you into the moment. It really, when you're focused on the true blessings that you have in your life, I mean, any of you watching this right now, you're on a computer, you're on an iPhone, you are blessed beyond, what so many people in this world are. Yes, we all have our troubles, we all have our challenges, but there are so many things that we have to be grateful for in our lives, and so many blessings that each and every one of us have, that to just take that moment and pause each and every day to get into that practice of looking for, sometimes it requires you to search really hard, mm-hmm. right, for something to be grateful for in the moment, but to get into that practice of searching for something to be grateful for, it really does start to change who you are on a daily basis, because now you wake up looking for those things instead of looking for the opposite. And mm-hmm. it really does shift the energy, the mood, the place mm-hmm. that you're able to live in.
Yeah, but the way the brain works, and I don't know the brain very well, but the way the brain works, whatever you're looking for, you will find.
Yes.
So if you wake up looking for gratitude, looking for appreciation, you are going to find it. If you're in a relationship right now, and things aren't doing that great, think about when's the last time you thought about how you appreciated something they did, and let them know that. Let them know it. Let them how much you appreciate them because they do the dishes, or they take the garbage out, or they make sure that the car is safe for me to drive from here to there. Mm-hmm. Those are those things, but we just start to take those things for granted.
Yeah.
But just in closing, I know that we got to get going here. There's a little bit, I don't know if I kind of call it a bonus. I just want to share something. There's a 13 or 14 minute video out there on YouTube. if you type it up, it's Tony Robbins, and then write in priming, Priming, priming. It's about a 12-minute video, and he goes through a breathing process, but then he goes through a gratitude process, and there's about 4 processes in there. It's very powerful, and it's sitting there for you to check out. So just check it out. If you check it out, have any questions, just let us know. But
And we'll post a link in the comments after we get these videos done.
She will. Yeah. I know how to push play.
Yeah. So we are so very grateful and appreciative for each and every one of you that has taken the time this morning to be with us live here. For those of you who are watching this in the replay, we'd love for you to drop us a comment. Let us know what you are grateful for today. And each and every day, what you're going to maybe adopt as a practice, something maybe that hit you today that you might share with those loved ones in your life, or, just adopt as your own personal practice to incorporate into your life. So love to hear from each and every one of you.
Yeah. Gratitude and appreciation. It all goes down to everybody wants to be happy. I know that I see Mr. Mike Flaw on here. Hi, Mike. His brother, Brian, is the happiness warrior. He's spreading happiness all over the country, and it's all about gratitude, appreciation, and we just want to be happy. So, all right.
All right.
Well, remember, today's choices create tomorrow's experiences for generations to come, and we really appreciate and are happy that you were here.
Yep. And we'll see you next Saturday.
Yes.
Have a fantastic week.
Okay. Bye.